Right now at 6, a breakthrough for child safety as Benny's bill wins unanimous House approval for tougher penalties.
And we've got a very cold start to the day, much colder out there into the afternoon. We'll talk about that coming up.
Plus, the president considers next steps with Iran as military options are presented and forces build up in the region.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is finally Friday in the 4 states. And I don't know that we can really say yay about today unless, like I said, you're a fan of the cold. Yeah. Then you're going, all right, it's about time. Most of us probably aren't, and most of us are going, what do you mean Friday? It's freezing out there. It's literally freezing. It's below freezing out there.
I know. I walked out, and as much as I hated the cold this morning, it was a good wake up because sometimes when you hit a Friday, you're like, oh, you're just dragging yourself to work. You're like,
I woke up. I was actually for the first time in a while late getting here. Now, not late enough to impact what I do for you all, but late. And my time was compressed because, it's like you said, you're just so warm and cozy, and you're like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do it. But it's okay. We're going to make it through this day together. We're going to make it through the weekend together. It's just cold, and we've done this before, and we'll do it again. And we're going to start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Looks all right. See, doesn't it? Looks really nice out. We got some clear skies, a few clouds here and there, but it doesn't feel all right. KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh, looking good so far as well. Get some trucks on the roadway this morning. And our final stop, the MoDOT camera 32nd and Range Line in Joplin, also looking pretty good this morning as we get this Friday underway. It's the temperatures. Yeah, they don't look so nice. That's rude is what that is. 22 in Joplin, 21 in Pittsburgh. Further west, we've had some upper teens, still have some. Neodesha, Parsons, both at 19, 20. Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott. We head down further south and east. We've got the mid-20s. We were a little warmer in Grove. You were 27. You've come back and kind of joined the rest of us in that low to mid-20 range. Then you factor in our light breeze. Now, the breeze is going to continue to ease up, so our wind chills have improved a bit, but it's still a very cold wind chill. All of us into the teens, with the exception of Miami, Veneta, and the Wada. Everybody else still feels like it's the teens, feels like 10, Yates Center and Iola. And our temperatures this morning, look at those numbers. More than 40 degrees colder right now than it was at this time yesterday morning. We're talking about a pretty big dive in those temperatures, and you are going to notice it when you walk outside. Future track for today, a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, looking pretty good. And then clouds will start to thicken up later this evening ahead of that opportunity for a light wintry mix. But again, we're not worried about that really so much. But if you see a couple of snowflakes or even a little shower, it's not going to do much. We're going to go about the mid-20s. Kids out the door this morning, upper 30s by lunch and recess, and right around the mid-40s when they come home. Upper 20s by 9, again upper 30s by noon. Highs today right around the mid-40s, northeast breeze at about 5 to 10. Now that we will get a little breezy again tonight into tomorrow. We got that wintry mix. Temperatures below normal, but there are warmer temperatures on the way. Details on all that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A bill that would increase penalties for child endangerment advances in the Kansas legislature. Benny's bill was prompted by a case in Pittsburgh in 2024 when a child was left unattended and unbuckled in his bouncer. The child rolled over and suffocated, suffering severe brain damage that has left him with cerebral palsy and dependent on a feeding tube. The daycare workers responsible for the incident received what some consider light sentences for misdemeanor charges. Benny's bill would increase penalties for crimes like that when the victim is under 6 years old. That bill has now passed in the Kansas House unanimously, 124 to 0. It goes to the state Senate next. If it passes there and gets the governor's signature, it'll go into effect in July. Well, the Seneca Police Department decided to end its contract with Flock license plate readers, citing frustrations with customer service and overall concerns over the privacy of residents. 2 cameras were installed last year in mid-October, though Chief James Altick says only one was working. They were taken down in mid-January of this year.
We need full answers. Just because they work real well here, we want to make sure these cameras cannot be compromised, and until we are 100% sure they can't be compromised, we're going to go be a part of the system.
Chief Altick maintains that during the short time the cameras were in use, he had no knowledge of any misuse within his department. Well, President Trump has given a timeline for Iran to reach a deal to end its nuclear program. It also gives U.S. forces more time to steam towards the Middle East. This comes as the president also convened his first ever Board of Peace designed to maintain peace in Gaza. Erica Brown has more details from Capitol Hill.
President Trump is weighing action against Iran if no deal is reached to curb the country's nuclear program.
We may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
CBS News has learned national security officials have presented the president with military options for strikes against Iran. And the president has ordered a buildup of U.S. forces in the region, including the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford. It comes as Iran is carrying out joint military exercises with Russian forces in the region.
We're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie plan to force a vote as soon as next week on a war powers resolution requiring congressional approval before any military action against Iran. President Trump also announced the U.S. will contribute $10 billion to the Board of Peace as he hosted its first meeting in Washington Thursday. The board was created as part of the brokered peace deal between Israel and Hamas.
We have to get this right. There is no plan B for Gaza. Plan B is going back to war. No one here wants that.
The president signed fundraising pledges totaling about $7 billion from member states to help with humanitarian aid and reconstruction in Gaza. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
U.S. forces being deployed to the Middle East are all expected to be in the area no later than mid-March. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a member of the British royal family is arrested for the first time in nearly 4 centuries. And temps below normal heading into the weekend. Chris has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, King Charles's younger brother Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been released from police custody but remains under investigation. As Tina Cross reports, the former prince was arrested yesterday in connection with his ties to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor left a police station close to 12 hours after British authorities arrested him at his family's royal estate on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The dramatic development in connection to his relationship with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein marks the first time in nearly 4 centuries that a senior British royal was placed under arrest.
I think it was always inevitable that Andrew was going to be questioned by the police.
Investigators are looking into whether the former prince shared confidential government information with the disgraced financier during his time as a British trade envoy. Andrew has long denied any wrongdoing. His brother, King Charles, stripped Andrew of his titles last year because of the Epstein scandal. In a statement, Charles said the royal family will cooperate with investigators, writing in part, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course."
In the statement that the King made today, his view is clear. No one is above the law.
The family of Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide after accusing the then prince of abuse, called the arrest a victory.
This is just such a win for Virginia and for all survivors out there, truly.
The former prince was once second in line to the British throne. It's not yet clear how his arrest will affect the royal family going forward. Aboard Air Force One as he traveled to Georgia, President Trump spoke about the news.
Well, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family.
Back in London, the king carried on business as usual, appearing at a scheduled fashion show event following Andrew's arrest. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Now, the last time a senior British royal was arrested was in 1642 during the reign of King Charles I. He was tried and convicted of high treason and beheaded. Well, still to come, from beloved TV characters returning to the big screen to country music milestones and new album releases. Plus, Chris is going to have a full look at your Friday forecast before we head into the weekend. Cillian Murphy is back with a vengeance. returning to his Peaky Blinders role of Tommy Shelby. And Jelly Roll prepares for another music milestone. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
We're getting a first look at the long-awaited Peaky Blinders film.
You abandoned your kingdom, and you abandoned your son.
Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, follows the return of Tommy Shelby following his self-imposed exile ahead of World War II. Cillian Murphy reprises the lead role.
Perhaps someone should explain to him who I am.
The film heads to theaters March 6th. Netflix confirmed 2 seasons of an upcoming Peaky Blinders spin-off.
Jelly Roll, you're officially invited to become a member of the Grand Ole Opry.
After showing this emotional reaction, musician Jelly Roll now has an official date for when he'll become a member of the Grand Ole Opry. On March 10th, friend and fellow country artist Lainey Wilson will induct Jelly Roll into the Opry family. The wait is over.
We're about to play a song we've never played before.
After teasing the release on social media, the folk rock band Mumford & Sons are out today with their 6th album, Prize Fighter. 1 thriller, 2 movies.
Move, don't look back.
Films 1 Mile Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 follows actor Ryan Phillippe portraying Danny, a former Special Forces operative working to navigate his new life and bond with his estranged daughter. Phillippe reflects on the role.
There's a lot that I relate to as a father of 2 daughters about, Danny's wanting to reconnect with his daughter and make up for lost time. And so there's a familiarity there that I think that gave me some ease of connection.
Phillippe says the stunts were the most difficult aspect of this role. 1 Mile Chapter 1 and 1 Mile Chapter 2 are available now on Paramount+. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Certainly a lot of exciting things to look forward to, and I know a lot of Peaky Blinder fans can't wait to see that next film. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we are very cold out there this morning. We have a pretty chilly weekend ahead of us as well. Temperatures do eventually warm back up a little later in the week next week. We'll break down details for you and talk about that wintry mix chance tonight when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:19 now on this Friday, February the 20th. Happy Friday, all of you. Hopefully you are bundled up or ready to be bundled up because it is cold outside. It is very cold outside. And like I said, this is one of those situations where the difference from the last couple of days to today, even though our high temperatures today aren't awful for this time of year, it's going to feel awful because it's been so warm for so long. Let's talk about what we've got, though, for today. We'll have a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies across the region. That will continue into the evening hours. Now, once we get about 7, 8 o'clock, clouds begin to thicken up. We're going mostly cloudy. And by 10, 11, here comes some flurries, a wintry mix, a couple of showers. I do also want to emphasize the fact the air is still quite dry, especially at the surface, because we talked about yesterday. We showed you the humidity levels for today. The only reason there's not a fire danger, or at least a significant fire danger today, is because the winds are calming down. But because it's still so dry, you may see rain or flurries on the radar and then go outside and not actually see anything reaching the ground. So that's part of the expectation. There's really not a lot to this whole system, and by 5 tomorrow morning, it's out of here. It's done. And we'll start clearing out. Now, we will stay below normal through at least Monday as we go through this weekend. So do be prepared for that. And we do have some pretty cold nights ahead of us as well, because here's the deal. Look at Saturday. We head into the evening. There are no clouds on the future track, which means there are no clouds overnight to help keep any semblance of warm air in, which means it will be even colder Saturday night into Sunday. Few clouds to start Sunday, and we should clear right back out again, which will lead to another pretty chilly night from Sunday into Monday. So you need to be prepared for that as well. Not only do you need to be ready for the cold weather today, you're going to have to do it tomorrow, or not tomorrow, well, tomorrow, yes, but getting ready for work, school Monday, Tuesday as well. Here's what we've got through the morning hours today. Mid-20s to start our day, mid-30s by 11 a.m. And again, that mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Northeast winds 5 to 10. They're already starting to ease up, and they will continue to do so. We'll have that light breeze later. But today's highs, we should be 50 on average for most of us. We're going into the mid-40s. So we're not significant. That's what I mean, too. Like, they're not awful. We're below normal, yes, but not significantly below normal. It's just compared to the last few days, we're considerably colder. We'll go back into the mid-30s by 10 because, again, as those clouds thicken up, they do slow down. Like I said, they won't stop the temperature drop, but they'll slow it down. Upper 20s, low 30s tonight. Northeast winds pick back up, though. Start gusting upwards of 20. Occasional gust to 20 from those northeast winds tomorrow as well. What little bit of any wintry type precipitation may be out there is gone early. Back into the mid 40s Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And we're back into the upper teens, low 20s Sunday night. Same heading into Saturday nights. That's what I was saying. It's be a little bit colder out there. And then as we get into Tuesday, we are watching the potential for some fire weather concerns Tuesday. Still a bit out, but we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we at least start to warm back up again. Mid-50s out there. Temperatures climbing, maybe even getting close to 70 by next Friday, ahead of another system next weekend that will bring us some additional shower chances and put our temperatures back into the 40s. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. More and more people are relying on AI chatbots to help with loneliness. But a new paper published by the Cell Press says the chatbots reminding people they're talking to an AI may not be helpful. Public health researchers say reminding someone who already feels isolated that their only source of support isn't a human may backfire and make them feel even more alone. Well, if you've been struggling to stay active, there's a new trend making workouts feel a lot more like playtime. Tina Cross shows us how some trainers are turning back time to get people fit.
Welcome to Cadolting. Come in.
In this fitness class, grown-ups are not allowed.
We're going to play Stuck in the Mud. Let's go.
It's all about channeling your inner child.
How's that heart rate? We feeling a little warmer?
David Lloyd clubs in the UK are giving members a chance to relive their younger years.
There we go.
With playground games.
Who remembers the parachute?
That make working out fun again.
If you're yellow, you're going to be, shall we be a banana?
All childhood favorites.
Blueberry!
Most people haven't played since grade school.
That's a hurricane, so we're going faster! Keep them on, keep them on!
How's your heart rate?
Really fast.
This throwback trend has a name.
Kidulting, so it's the joy of being a kid as an adult.
It's a little bit of a mental trick because I'm not realizing how much time is going by.
Exactly.
What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Dinner time!
Research shows when exercise is playful,
That's good. Oh, it's quick, isn't it?
people are far more likely to make it a habit.
I think it just kind of gives you a chance to reminisce. It also gives you a chance to sort of revisit that period of your life which you thought was gone and you're not going to get back.
Bake cake as fast as you can.
Trainers say kidulting works anywhere, if you just keep playing.
Go, 10 seconds. Let's pick them up, pick them up, pick them up.
Because being a kid never gets old. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Now, research seems to back the idea of kidulting. The National Institutes of Health say adults who engage in playful childlike activities report better cognitive function and memory as they age. Now transitioning into sports. The New Heights girls basketball team has found their rhythm this back end of the regular season, winning 7 of their last 9 games. And with the district tournament tipping off next week, the Cougars are ready to make a playoff run. One key for this squad's success is their connection with head coach John Blankenship. For the Cougars senior core, they've spent the last 6 years playing for Coach Blankenship, and with a strong foundation that dates back to their middle school days, their bond is tight on and off the court.
He's definitely just been become a huge figure in our lives. I mean, he just leads us in our walk with Christ at school, and then he also leads us on the court, and he's just a great coach all around. And I mean, he's been coaching us since 7th grade, so spending so much time with him and just like having him be your main coach for basketball, like going through plays that we've known for years and just having him be your coach in general. I mean, he's just like an overall great coach, and I feel like it just really like strengthens our bond with him, knowing him for so long.
He's the same in class as he is off the court and on the court. He always wants to communicate with us and build good relationships based off of trust and like reliability and loyalty, and so being able to have him for so many years has just built a lot of trust and confidence in him as our coach.
The Cougars' 4 seniors have established an emphasis on leadership. With no juniors on this year's roster, the majority of the team is underclassmen, and this quartet of seniors has been determined to lead the way for the youngsters, aiding in their development. Well, similar to the Cougars girls squad, the New Heights boys basketball team is on fire. The Cougars have won 8 of their last 9 matchups, including 4 in a row, and enter as the top seed in the Class 3 District 11 tournament. Talking to the team, they believe that their experience has been pivotal to their success this season and will give them an advantage come playoff time. This Cougars core has been on deep playoff runs and mounted plenty of comeback wins. New Heights is relying on their prior experience to guide them this postseason and know their mentality has to be one game at a time.
Not a lot of teams have as much experience as we do, and like also coming back, not a lot of teams have a lot of close games. We've been lucky, you can say, to have a lot of close games. These past 3 years, we had multiple 20-point comebacks. We've had a lot of 10-point comebacks. We've come out slow sometimes this year, and we just find a way to win.
You can actually recall things to their remembrance of things that they've done before, and you can hold them accountable to it. And so I think it's a great tool for us to have on our belt. But I also believe that experience is one thing, but understanding is one game at a time, and that was one game, and that could have been 2 years ago. You got to remember that anybody can be beat on any night. So we got to take it one game at a time and give everybody our best effort every game.
As the Cougars look to win their 3rd straight district title, their style of play will be the catalyst. New Heights plays an unselfish brand of basketball, sharing the ball and spreading the wealth. For this squad, it isn't about scoring, it's about making the plays needed to win, which in turn has created a dangerous offense. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the Altoona Fire Department hosts a discussion on radiation awareness.
And we've got a few clouds out there this morning, much colder across the area. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, public discussions continue as a proposed nuclear reactor in southeast Kansas raises concerns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, February the 20th. And ordinarily we do say Friday, but honestly, you're going to do that. You're going to wake up at Friday and you're going to open the door and go outside and go fry boo.
Yeah.
Like that.
That was kind of my reaction, but like I've said earlier, it helped wake me up because, most Fridays I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this thing one more day. And then it's the weekend. This morning I was like very draggy. I didn't want to get up. And I walked outside and I was like, oh, I am awake now. It is cold.
I did not want to be woken up that way. I prefer, coffee, high levels of caffeine to wake up. I do not prefer being hit by a bus or whatever. However you want to describe the impact of the cold weather. That's not the best way to wake up, but that's how it's going to go this morning. Let's start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. You can see a few clouds. The sun's rising. It looks like an absolutely fantastic day. And, to a degree, the whole day, the weather, the temperatures, it's all what you make of it, in all honesty. And temperatures today are going to be cold compared to where we have been, but it could also be worse. Quick look at the KDOT camera, 69400, looking good so far this morning. And a quick stop, MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. Get a lot more folks out on the road there, getting this Friday commute underway. And other than those who really enjoy the cold weather, I'd be willing to bet nearly all of these folks have their heaters on this morning because of that. 22 in Joplin, 21 in Pittsburgh. Now, further west, we've had some teens. We still have some teens. 18 The cold spot in Neodesha, 19 Parsons and Yates Center. And then as you head a little further east, we get low mid-20s out there. Our warmest temperatures are those 25-degree readings we have. Our wind, again, continuing to ease up through the morning, but still there. These wind chills have actually improved quite a bit because we had some in the single digits. But look at Chanute. Feels like 11 right now. 12s in Neodesha, Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar, Carthage. Most of those wind chills, though, still into the teens. And our temperatures, insane. 30 to 40 degrees plus, colder now than where we were 24 hours ago. We're talking a big drop in temperatures. Now, the future track is showing the light northeast breeze that we're going to have. We'll have get mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. After about 7 or 8, clouds start thickening up. We're going mostly cloudy by late evening, which will ultimately lead to that opportunity for that light wintry mix out there. But again, not anything we're overly concerned about. Kids out the door, mid-20s, upper 30s, lunch and recess, mid-40s as they head home. They'll definitely want that coat today. We're going to go near 30 by 9, upper 30s by noon. Our highs into the mid-40s. Average high this time of year is about 50, so a little off pace here. Northeast winds 5 to 10. Winds pick up a bit tonight into tomorrow. We have that wintry mix. We're below normal for a bit, but a warm-up is on the horizon. Details on all of that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Deep Fission plans on placing a reactor a mile underground in the Parsons area to eliminate the need for above-ground structures. Deep Fission was selected for participation in the U.S. Department of Energy's reactor pilot program in 2025, and the recent groundbreaking in Parsons represents the pilot project. The Great Plains Development Authority held a meeting yesterday to hear concerns of residents, one being about transparency.
This group has to go through several gating processes with KDHE, with DOE, as well as the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So they can't go past any step unless those groups are happy with them. And those groups have the experts. And that's where I think people need to trust in the process, is that we as Great Plains are not the experts. We are trusting in our governmental organizations who hire scientists, who hire experts. So that is our trustworthy process.
The community wants a public meeting with Deep Fission. Brad Reams, the director of the Great Plains Industrial Park, mentions they look forward to that public meeting. No date has been confirmed yet. Wilson County, Kansas residents gathered at the Altoona Fire Station yesterday evening to learn how to protect themselves if the Wolf Creek nuclear plant experiences an emergency. Wilson County, Kansas emergency management team brought in a radiation expert from the Kansas Health Department to explain safety procedures. Wilson County sits within the 50-mile ingestion pathway zone of the nuclear facility near Burlington. The plant generates 20% of the Sunflower State's electricity and employs 750 workers. Last night's meeting covered radiation types, health effects, and emergency preparation strategies for families living in the 50-mile zone.
Depending on the type of radiation and maybe an incident that has happened and stuff, getting articles like a wall in between you and some exposure, or sometimes even a sheet of paper.
The committee plans to host additional public education sessions later this year. Well, last night, KOAM joined the Downtown Joplin Alliance as the nonprofit hosted an evening of excellence at the Ramsey Event Center. The event served as a way to say thank you to community members and supporters for their efforts in downtown Joplin. The evening's keynote speaker, Caitlin Cotton, the director of communications and design at Place Economics, addressed ways of revitalizing the downtown area. And the Boys and Girls Club of Joplin served up more than soul food at yesterday's Black History celebration. The event featured traditional dishes like beans, cornbread, and fried chicken, alongside lessons about local heritage. The presentation focused on the history of Ewart Park in Joplin. Community members leading the discussion say they want students to understand how Black history connects to their own neighborhoods and daily lives.
So it's important to celebrate Black history because it's everybody's history. It's not just Black history. And so when you ask kids things about Black history, usually they don't know anything. And I was actually kind of proud of Sarah. She's the director here at the Boys Club. And she said, you know, we can do these things even more.
Organizers say they wanted the students to know that Black history is American history. Well, in 2009, a group of church volunteers set out to give kids something to do after school. In this week's Doing Good segment, KOAM's Ty Parks introduces us to the Neighborhood Lifehouse.
Neighborhood Lifehouse is a nonprofit in North Joplin that is all about providing kids a safe place to go after school.
We know that the gospel message is the good news of Jesus, and we want to share that and be his hands and feet in this neighborhood where he has called us.
They primarily serve students in the North Joplin area, but will take school-age children from anywhere if they can get there. The house was started in 2009 when local church members noticed something on the front steps.
They prayed about that, and they sat on the front porch of our building and were praying about what that could look like and how God was leading them in this possibility. And they saw a bunch of students running around the street playing and without any adult supervision. So they're like, what if we started a Bible club after school?
They offer after-school programs that are geared towards different age groups on different days, anything from gymnastics to music.
Through all our programs, we get to share about the good news of Jesus, and also are able to take care of some of our some needs in our neighborhood, whether that be with some different meals or snacks, or just providing a safe place for students to be after school if their parents are working. So it just fits in some of the physical needs too, as well as being able to share about the love of Jesus through all of the programs that we have.
For Doing Good in Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Neighborhood Lifehouse is looking for volunteers to help with its food program. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us in the studio with his top 3 stories of the week. Well, welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week, live and local. What's happening where you live? The Kansas Highway Patrol executed a search warrant this last Friday. Tipsters told us about police activity in Franklin, Kansas. And Kansas Highway Patrol, along with Crawford County Sheriff's deputies, they spent hours, almost a whole day, at this residence in the 200 block of South Broadway. And what did they find? You could see behind the house at a large shop building, they tell us. They were investigating stolen property. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars of stolen property. The man was arrested, the resident, and also charged 26 felonies.
Which is just, that's a number you've never really heard.
Yeah, most of them are related to felony weapons charges and also defacing a serial number on a weapon, but of course also drug charges as well and other stolen items. It's a story we'll continue to follow. Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, live and local, a house fire in Newton County. Reddingsville Fire Department had some help with the area departments. Windy day. This was earlier in the week, still very windy, and a fire at a residence. They were able to stop that fire spread into the attic, which is really amazing in that kind of wind. Also, they were able to rescue a family dog. They're still investigating what occurred, but I do understand they'd had some recent electric work that was done at the home. They are now displaced, and Red Cross is assisting the family. Our number 1 story, peanuts. That's what it's all about, right? This truck was full of peanuts. We're talking like regular peanuts, right? Yeah. And they had these huge bags of peanuts. There was a rollover crash just south of Miller, just about less than a half mile. Driver was not injured, just checked out at an area hospital for minor injuries. But as they were setting up the tractor trailer, it kind of crumpled a little bit, which is something you don't see every day. They were trying to still keep some of the peanuts intact there in the trailer, but nobody was injured. It was a little dramatic as it kind of all fell apart there, but they got it all cleaned up. Everything's great. Silverado Towing, they do a great job. Then our bonus story of the week. It was 22 years ago. Steve Fierro, a firefighter for Carthage Fire Department, also a lifetime Carthage resident. He was a Tiger. He died in a fire assisting Diamond. It's been now 22 years. A lot of people remember that, and especially his family and friends and fellow firefighters. They gathered again this week to remember him at Park Cemetery. Different people shared different memories about Steve. I went to church with him at Christ Church of Oronogo. It's just really, really powerful that they still remember him after all these years after his passing. You can read more about it and see more on our website about Steve, KOAMNewsNow.com.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon. Have a great rest of your Friday.
I will. I'll try and stay warm.
Yes, that's gonna be the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're going to be right back.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays and anniversaries, and we're going to start in Fort Scott, excuse me, with Corey Arnold, celebrating the big number 1. Says happy first birthday with love from Nanny and Papa.
And in Parsons, Raylan Raquel Fuentes is celebrating birthday number 4. It says, love you bunches, Poppy and Nani. Happy birthday, Raylan.
And over to Arma, where Gracie Lovell is celebrating birthday number 5. Says happy birthday from Mom, Dad, sisters, grandmas, and grandpas.
And in Fort Scott, Tony Baglin is celebrating birthday number 6. It says happy birthday from Mimi, Papa, Mommy, and Daddy.
And in Fort Scott, Celeste Miller celebrating birthday number 6 today. Very happy birthday to you, Celeste.
And in Sheldon, Loretta Beeson is celebrating birthday number 7. It says, hope you have the best birthday yet. Grandma loves you.
And in Joplin, Layla Lohman celebrating birthday number 8 today. It says, happiest birthday, you shine brighter than all the stars. Love Auntie Bibi, Uncle Rodney, Cerberus, Persephone, I'm not saying that right, I know. Thanatos, Hank, and Charlotte.
And in Pittsburgh, Stephen Falk is celebrating birthday number 40. Happy birthday, Stephen.
And we have Terry born on this day, celebrating birthday number 75 in St. Paul. Happy birthday.
And in Columbus, Corky Zom is celebrating birthday number 84. Happy birthday.
And Kenneth and Marilyn Frobish celebrating their 67th wedding anniversary in Columbus. A very happy anniversary to you.
And in St. Paul, Debbie Lopez is celebrating another happy birthday. Happy birthday, Debbie.
And we've got Jonathan Jacob Rose celebrating a birthday in Fort Scott. Says, love your mom. You will always be my baby, no matter how old you are.
And in Columbus, Ross King is celebrating another year older and wiser. It says, happy birthday from Charlotte and the kids. Happy birthday, Ross.
And our list continues with Joseph Creviston celebrating birthday number 56 in Iola. Very happy birthday with love from Mom and Dad.
And Stephanie Maxton is celebrating another year older and wiser. Happy birthday, Stephanie.
All right, very happy birthday and anniversary to all of you on our list. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, it's super easy to do, isn't it, Samantha?
Yes, they should pay attention to this email on their screen. It's birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. That's where you can send those photos, those birthdays, those anniversaries, the messages you may want us to include. But you should also make sure to pay attention to that deadline that you can see on your screen, so that way we can make sure we get it in plenty of time to be able to celebrate with you on your special day.
Very important information there, and some important weather information. Number 1, it's cold. It's very cold this morning, especially compared to where we have been. We've got wind chills in the teens, temperatures in the 20s, so bundle up when you head out and be prepared for it to be pretty darn chilly through the afternoon and actually for the next several days. That's the most important thing you need to know. The other thing you need to know is, well, that's going to be a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we head through the day today. Not looking too shabby from the weather side of things, just cold. It's the temperatures that aren't so pleasant. Now, clouds are going to increase later this evening, eventually going mostly cloudy, and then after about 10, 11 o'clock, that opportunity for a flurry, wintry mix, a little shower starts to work in. But here's the deal. Remember yesterday, because of all the fire dangers we had, we talked a lot about the relative humidity and talked about it through today. The air still is very dry. And so there's a good chance that even if you see some flurries or a little shower on the radar tonight, you may go outside and not see anything, because it's just too dry at the surface. Most of this may not even reach the ground, but some of it could, and if it does, no major concerns there. Our northeast winds pick up a bit tonight as well. They'll start gusting to 20. We'll start our Saturday mostly cloudy, and then skies will begin to clear as we head into the afternoon to mostly clear to partly cloudy once again. A bit breezy through the day Saturday, those winds gusting up to 20 again. And as we go Saturday night into Sunday, you see how there's no clouds out there overnight? A little bit on the cold side. We're dropping back into the mid-20s for Sunday night. We'll have a few clouds to start the day on Sunday. Skies clear again, but our temperatures still no changes there as we hang out in the mid-40s. And as we go into Sunday night into Monday, clear skies once again will allow us to be quite cold again, back into the upper teens and low 20s from Sunday night into Monday. So we do have a bit of a cold spell on the way for us. As for today, mid-20s to start our day. We'll go about the mid-30s by 11 a.m. And again, that mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies here and there. So again, aside from the temperatures, not a bad day overall, just a bit on the chilly side. Got another look at your forecast and the wake-up recap here in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., a Joplin nonprofit looking to do good for kids after school. Well, that story and a lot more at 7 a.m.
This is your Wake Up Recap for February 20th, your top stories to start your day. A bill to increase penalties for child endangerment has cleared a key hurdle in the Kansas legislature. Benny's bill, inspired by a 2024 Pittsburgh case where a child was severely injured at daycare, would toughen penalties when the victim is under 6 years old. The measure passed the Kansas House unanimously, 124-0, and now heads to the state Senate. If approved there and signed by the governor, it would take effect in July. That's your check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got ourselves a pretty chilly day out there. Average high is 50, so I mean technically we're not that far off, but compared to the last few days, it makes it feel a lot colder out there. Mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, mid-40s. Northeast breeze 5 to 10. Clouds increasing after 8. That slows down the temperature drop, not by a lot, but it will slow it down. Mid-30s by 10. Low 30s tonight. Northeast winds start gusting to 20. And again, that wintry mix is possible. It may be also one of those situations with how dry everything is that it may show up on radar in the upper levels, but won't actually reach the ground. But it's at least that possibility out there. Continuing to very early Saturday, then we'll begin to clear. The mid-40s are the thing all the way through Monday. Overnight lows this weekend, 20s, maybe even some upper teens Sunday night into Monday. We'll be warming back up by Tuesday. We are watching Tuesday for the potential for some fire weather hazards again. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Getting into the 60s, maybe even close to 70 by next Friday, ahead of another system bringing more rain chances and temperatures back down into the 40s by next weekend.
It looks like we're back to the 4 states kind of roller coaster of weather again.
We're on that ride.
Well, thank you, Chris. Coming up today at noon, we're making lazy day breakfast in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Eric Dane, best known for his role in Grey's Anatomy, has died at the age of 53 following a battle with ALS. CBS Mornings takes a look back at his life and career as an actor.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we learn more about the homegrown history coming to Miami Public Library, exploring the rich and diverse history of Ottawa County in Oklahoma.
Plus, Megan Westoff joining us to give us all the details on Pitt State Theater's upcoming production of Endgame. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.